I did have the best hand pre-flop. Homie just zipped right on over for the gun for a little 25 ball with ace queen.
Welcome back to the hottest poker table in London. It is the FullTiltPoker.net $1 million cash game, and around the table is a who's who of poker brilliance. So let's hand you straight back to your commentators, Gary Jones and David Tuckman.
And it's amazing, this man is behind an awful lot, stuck over $200,000 on the day, in fact over $300,000 on the day, and he's still laughing.
Well, this is a player that won $200,000 in about 12 minutes at one point, playing on the internet.
I did not say I agreed, so. I mean, he never showed it.
Fold.
Could have better.
Cool.
And it's amazing when you look at him and you think he's only 22. And he's playing a 5-3 suited here.
Against Patrick Antonius.
Well, he's playing his button. He loves that button.
In fact, both players love their button.
Two of you, yeah.
Well, most good players do, don't they?
It really is a power position.
Well, it's an interesting flop. Both players get a little piece of it. Antonius, a much better piece, though.
Yeah, he's definitely in front right now. A little under a 3-1 favourite.
If you're Dwan, do you take one off here?
4,500.
Seeing if you can catch two pair or some sort of draw.
Well, he also doesn't know, of course, that Patrick's actually caught any of this.
So what's the play if you're Tom Dwan?
The sort of player that Tom Dwan is, he's also the sort of player that's going to put pressure on with the re-raise, kind of to find out where he is. Very, very fast player, but he's decided to play his position. He's called. Here we go. We're going to see a turn card.
Oh, that's a magical card there, the 5 there. Obviously looking for a 5 or a 3 or some sort of draw. That's going to give him trips. And can Patrick Antonius put him on a 5?
Well, he knows that Tom can pretty well play any two cards.
There's no way.
Especially
Just
on
have to see how this one plays out.
There's no way you're having it.
He's such a dangerous player.
Well, we see that earlier. We saw him move all in with just a 7 high. Anybody that's capable of doing that is very dangerous.
Betting 10,000. 10,000 to call.
And Patrick Antonius is going to bet 2/3 of the pot, 10,000 into a $15,000 pot. Action over to Dwan. And there's not much that Patrick Antonius can beat if Dwan actually had a real hand here.
I think you had things, but you might have also flopped.
Call.
Well, Tom's slow playing this one. Doesn't want to lose his customer.
15 change.
Also a slight chance he's a bit gun shy. He caught what he thought was a monster earlier on against David Benjamin. Wow, now he's got 5s full of 3s.
But once again, what can Patrick Antonius beat here with the king with a pair of kings with only a jack kicker?
I
I think we might still try and see a value bet from Patrick.
I promise to you, I'll be honest, I might try.
Although with Tom behind him, he might do a kind of a check call, hoping to catch a bluff.
I told you.
Figuring if Dwan missed diamonds,
He might have a stab because he's got, you know, an awful lot of history for trying to take these pots away. But I've seen Patrick make an awful lot of value bets on the river with very marginal hands.
well, this would be a very thin value bet. And of course, when Dwan raised, might Antonius think that he's raising with missed diamonds?
I hit the 8. I was going to check raise him on the river. You did check raise him on the river. But I hit the 8. But I was.
Of course, Gus Hansen, the Great Dane, watching the game intently. We saw him earlier. He finished up about $34,000.
But
Patrick Antonius is a big decision right now.
Came 3-4 jack.
Looks like he's put in a little value bet.
He has.
Yeah.
We don't play in the same level.
David was losing before.
27,000.
Well, that's a big bet there. 27,000 into a $35,000 pot.
I think we're going to see a raise from Dwan. He can't be scared of 5 king or kings full.
You know, the way Dwan's day is going, I figure he figures, you know what, if I run into pocket kings here, so be it. He's definitely going to raise this one.
They always have it. That's what he said. They always have
That's all I'm doing. Just another day.
Duan started this hand with just under 100. $40,000.
You won 34 nines.
Deuces.
This pot is going to be at least 90,000, and he's all in. And we saw him move all in earlier with just a 7 high.
Bet is all in.
He did have a bit of a draw though when he did the 7 high,
Good
just
point.
in case.
Well, the pot now is $184,000 back to Patrick Antonius. And could Duan be doing this with a misdraw?
Well, that's what's going to be going through Patrick's head.
You think about that flop. What draw could he have missed?
Yeah, because ours would have been bluffed.
Obviously 2 diamonds on that flop.
I mean, it's hard to call. How much more? It's like, unless you have a deuce and you really have like an ace deuce. And even, I mean, well, probably what I'm a favorite to have.
And of course, Durr is such an aggressive player.
I have to call.
70,
I call it.
Helps him get paid off sometimes.
80.
Even if you have an ace deuce, I mean, how often are you going to have the best one?
But will Patrick pay him off here?
No?
That's 90.
I mean, once in a while. I mean,
95
Phil
cents.
Hellmuth,
95
world
cents.
champion, looking on. Always studying his opponents.
90, yeah.
And it's about 90,000, 95,000 back to Antonius.
95.6.
And what is Patrick thinking here, Gary?
Well, he's just trying to decide whether he thinks that Tom could be making a bluff here. There isn't really, like you say, any genuine hands he can beat.
Oh, that's a sick beat there. You had kings there. I thought he had
I
queens.
mean, a raise like that on the river, it's pretty much an absolute monster or nothing at all, right?
Exactly.
You raise pre-flop, I didn't.
I'll be hamming up tonight.
You raise pre-flop, I didn't really raise him. Not up this much long.
Oh, you could have 6 focus on.
And these guys have logged hours and hours against each other online.
I could have 3-6.
What a treat we have, watching them live on television.
You want to have a couple kids. How could you not pass that?
I could have 0.6. Right?
When you have I'm just trying to say, with the board queen 6.
Of course, Patrick made a big payoff to Phil Ivey in season 2.
Yes, we all remember that. Pot that exceeded $800,000, and at the time was the biggest ever televised hand. Can you get a read off that face?
14. You raised
I can't.
44.
But I'm used to seeing his avatar rather than his face.
You're right.
So what does he do?
And we've seen some thin calls today. This wouldn't be as thin. Patrick hasn't played too many hands trying to work this one out.
Do you agree with what I'm saying? What do you do in his spot? You know, you said that you got to take the lead at the top. You cannot be in the bluff, right? You know, he's going to check.
Eyes wide open. Tom Duan begging for a call at this point.
It doesn't have to do that. You can call, and you can numerate the turn.
David, can you hold the water man? We have 2 more hours of it.
They're going to come with some foot from you.
Don't forget, not only is Tom Duan stuck over $300,000, Patrick Antonius is stuck about $100,000 as well.
An absolutely enormous pot, $184,000 pot, $95,000 to call.
No, we can do it. It's all about balance.
You know, that's what it's all about having the back. There's only station for the first month. I mean, that's all.
Gallon, 45 gallons.
It's quite a lot of swimming. You know,
Patrick Antonius has won millions in cash games, millions in tournaments.
we've already put money, right?
And he's made a living making tough decisions like this.
These 2 bucks good enough. You don't want to say what raise call. Easily in our shoot.
Talking about a lot of money here. And if you're ever wondering if this money meant anything to these players, You can look at Patrick's face.
He's bringing that up. That really
You can almost feel the pain on his face. He's really not comfortable.
Trying to give Chris props.
Look at him.
He's got 2 pair. Kings and 5s with a jack kicker. But as you've said already, he can only beat a bluff here.
All credit to Tom Dwan. He's played this beautiful. The flat call on the turn. The all-in on the river. Such a big overbat.
He's really playing it as if he missed some sort of draw.
He says call. And Patrick not happy. 5's full of 3s. Going to be the winner. And that pot, nearly $300,000.
And we take a look at the leaderboard here. Chris Ferguson still up front with over $200,000.